Hi, everybody. I'm Zeb from LegalQ, and the problem that we're solving for today is that 2/3 of Americans have an ongoing legal issue at any given time, and only half of those get resolved. Meanwhile, the attorneys that want to help with this have to spend 45% of their time managing and marketing instead of actually being attorneys. So how does this work? This is Kira. She's an anonymized user who used LegalQ recently when she got kicked out of her apartment. Her current options are to Google this. Oh, cool. She sees a free website where she can use, except she hits the paywall like everybody else. Instead, Travis is an attorney, also on LegalQ, and is looking for someone like Kira to help. So how does this work? Kira downloads the app, and in a simple 3-step process, she's able to simply and effectively enter her information, enter her legal situation, and in 3 screens, she's chatting with an attorney. So I should mention that this is by far the simplest mechanism for onboarding a user on any legal tech platform. And you can see here that Travis has a web app that he can use to look over the question. And once they have that connection, he's able to simply and effectively resolve it for her for free for a 15-minute chat. And if he does a great job, like 1 out of 5 of the attorneys on the platform, he might have a lifelong client. So the next day, he wakes up to see that he has 2 hours available on his calendar. And LegalQ is able to simply and effectively auto-schedule all 4 of those consultations on his calendar based on his requirements. So our pricing for this is simple. Users pay $0. Attorneys pay us between $25 and $700 per consultation. And the legal tech landscape, guys, is fractured and ripe for disruption. LegalQ is the only app to offer on-demand text, voice, and video chat without ever charging the user, and the simplest onboarding. But truly, our secret sauce is the LegalQ Knowledge Cloud, which utilizes over 100,000 first, second, and third-party data source sets to have the best routing engine of any NLP engine on the internet. How we're going to get there? We're going to grow our markets from 14 today to 38 by the end of the year, expand the LegalQ Knowledge Cloud, and the first 100 paying customers in November. What does 100 paying customers mean? It means $1 million in ARR. At the end of 5 years, at 10,000 customers, we're going to be at 100 million in ARR. And our traction to get there so far, we have 7,000 downloads across both platforms, 112 attorneys on 14 states, and our 100K is going to be hit in December. We truly have a world-class team to execute on this. Between us, we have 4 master's degrees, 2 JDs, 1 PhD, and 1 former NHL player. Honestly, everything else aside, our mission, guys, is to enable 1 million people to get legal help from 50,000 attorneys in all 50 states by 2025. That's why we're here. That's our mission, and we hope you join us on this journey. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Zeb. Well done. Ateen, question for Zeb.
I haven't got one. Add someone else.
Okay, David.
How does the early funnel look of those 7,000 downloads and 100 attorneys? How many video conferences have they had, and how many have converted to actual appointments? And
Thank you, David.
Maybe it's early, but how many have even come back for a second consultation?
All right, terrific. Thanks so much. Pascal Unger.
Yeah, thank you. So second David's question, and then also, right, it is a very noisy market with, as I said, the Avos, Legal Shield, even Upwork and so on of the world. And even if you have a slightly differentiated offering, how do you think about kind of positioning yourself and messaging it? How do you think about rising above the noise, especially from a consumer perspective?
All right, terrific. Let's grab some from the syndicate. Andy's asking, marketplaces are notoriously hard to build as you need both supply and demand density. How do you solve this chicken and egg problem? And Todd's asking, are you having a harder time getting attorneys or users with legal questions? Those are great questions. You have 2 minutes for those, Zeb.
All right, thanks everybody. Great questions. So David, to your question, how does our early funnel look? Basically, from the 7,000 users that we've had download the app, we've had probably a third of those turn into actual consultations that are in action with these attorneys along the way. And from that, we have about 10% of those that come back or have come back for a second consultation request with additional attorneys for additional areas. But it is paid per consultation from the attorney side. So if the user does ask multiple questions or want a second opinion, then it's LegalQ would receive revenue from both of those requests. The video conferences, it's actually interesting. In the data, we see about 70% choose text, about 20% voice, and only about 10% choose video. So it's not something I would have guessed, but basically in that context, our longer term strategy is to enable a basically training set for a machine learning algorithm to say, hey, the last 5,000 times this question's been asked in California, here's the best answer for that. So the attorneys look like geniuses. And then ultimately someday we're going to enable that to be a API that we can just, license to Google or somebody to enable access to legal questions globally. Pascal, to your question about noisy market, it is noisy. But honestly, there's about 7 good legal apps in the United States today. It's a highly regulated market, tons of regulatory capture. And, LegalQ has done our diligence on ensuring that we play by those rules, but it also creates somewhat of a moat around it once we have this kind of market effects and network effects kicking in. The marketplace, it is hard to build, but the easier side, we have Anthony Bernetti on our call today, our CMO. He's brilliant. He handles a lot of the performance marketing pieces to that. And he got our CACs down from about 150 to about 15 this summer currently. So basically the attorneys we can do through multiple channels, and then we know that we have the ability to do that. And Todd, I'll answer your question offline. So thank you guys.